What's up, everybody? Welcome to another amazing episode of the Wordcast. Every Monday, sort of, we bring you the latest in video game news, talk about survival horror machinima, and what's going on at the Word. I'm one of your hosts, Giaz Rich, alongside the mighty morphing Shaun Clark.
That's me.
It's you. Internet hero Cody Howard.
Yee.
And I was gonna be like, and Nick. But I give you and the protector of the physical, Nick Sharpshooter.
Ooh.
User has disconnected from the channel.
Where? That's how you say hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Shaun.
Hello.
Is your name actually Josh?
It depends on what country you live in.
Well, in the country of your country.
Yes.
Because there's a U.S. senator who's planning to make a bill to ban loot boxes and pay-to-win mechanics from video games.
Good.
And I was like, is this Shaun?
We've been in talks secretly over the last couple of years, you know. We got to make this happen.
Gotta make this... Too bad his last name's not Clark. It's Josh Hawley.
Well, he's got a
Josh?
basket somehow.
Josh, sorry.
Yeah,
Josh.
it's my secret identity. You're fucking it up.
It's not.
Sorry.
I've been found out.
Wait, you have to wait until the election. You got another year.
Oh, okay.
Can you imagine that though? Trump's like, all right, here's all my stuff, and it's like, physical media will come back. Everybody votes for him. 99% approval.
99%.
I really, really hope that loot boxes actually get banned. That would make me feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside and on the outside.
Well, this would be the perfect time because the bill is titled the Protecting Children from Abusive Games Act.
How creative of them.
It's
What about us adults?
It's to make it illegal for the games that are played by minors. So,
Which is everything.
Exactly. Games that aren't supposed to be played by minors are.
They
So
play
instead of-
rated M games before they're
Yeah.
17?
Yeah.
I wonder how that's going to work. So will M-rated games not qualify?
Oh, it's literally all it's going to end up doing is like enforcing parents to be like, oh, you're not supposed to play this.
Oh, so it's going to change
Then that's
nothing.
Terrible.
I think it's going to force the games that have gambling mechanics such as loot boxes and shit like that to become AO rating and not available in stores.
That would be
stores.
awesome.
Well, that's going to just... like, nobody's willing to use that rating, so it's just going to cancel those games.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or that
And they're gonna
mechanic,
have to-
whatever it takes to
gonna
get it out
just
of an
force
AO.
their hand to stop fucking doing it.
Well, good. I
That would
mean,
still be
that
good,
works.
yeah.
But if it's just going to be like, oh, well, parents are just supposed to, be parents, that's not going to fucking happen. Like, when I worked at GameStop, I was selling a Grand Theft Auto game to a child, and their parent was there, and I was like, hey, do you know what this game is? Like, and I went through everything. I'm like, there's murder and drugs and swearing and pretty much everything you could think that's bad is in this game. And she's just like, yeah, that's fine.
Wait, how old was the kid?
Like 8?
Oh, not like a teenager even?
No.
Oh.
Which is why I made a point to be like, these are very bad things that you probably should not be showing your kid. Are you sure?
It's like my kid
Press
beats a
X to
prostitute
confirm, parent.
in 4th grade.
But yeah, the parents don't give a shit. It's like, well, if it's going to get the kid away from me and to shut the fuck up for a couple of days, then they can have it. It's fine.
Exactly. So, Shaun,
Hello.
how was your little week?
My week was, it was all right. I mean, it was kind of uneventful. I didn't really get to do jack shit. I played a new game. I played, what the fuck was that called? I don't even remember what it's called. Shit. I literally just played it.
Hey, I've played that game.
Oh, shit. Shit.
That's why
the
my
game.
I don't
console sits
remember
in
what
front
it's
of me at
called.
all times, so I know what the fuck I played when you ask me.
Yeah, I probably should have done that. I was going to write it down. The Final Station, I think is what it's called.
Is that the survival horror train game?
Yeah. It's actually pretty cool. I didn't get to play a whole lot of
Wait,
it.
train?
Yeah, it sounds retarded, but it's
What do
actually...
you- Do you like scare people with trains? Like, what,
No.
you have to conserve your like coal and
Like, from what I can remember from years ago, something to do with like a weird zombie plague thing, and your only safe haven is a train used as a hub that gets you from point A to point B.
So Resident Evil
And-
0.
And when you're outside the train, you're in like infected cities where evil, shitty zombie monster things are trying to kill you, and it's like pixel art 2D game.
Well, we don't have to hypothesize because guess what? I played it. But
It's like this game.
Played it, but I couldn't remember the name.
I couldn't remember the name because yeah. But yeah, so basically, like I said, I haven't played a whole lot of it, but basically, it centers around a train. Like you have to upgrade and maintain this train, and you travel from like city to city, and the train has like different things that you have to manage. Like it has. Like when you go from each city, like in the city, you'll pick up people that go on the train and you need to take them somewhere. So they get added onto your train when you go to the next city. So like you'll have these people on your train, you got to feed them, make sure that they're safe and everything like that. And then like aspects of the train can break down and you have to maintenance them. Like the electricity can fail or different mechanical errors can happen and you have to like manage that as you're traveling to the next town. And you have like supplies that you have to get from each town to be able to maintain the train. And like you get attacked by zombies and things like that. I don't know how the zombies fucking catch up to a train, but it happens. But yeah, so it's just kind of maintaining the train while you travel and then scavenging the cities and fighting the zombies to find supplies and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. It's got a really good soundtrack. The graphics are pretty neat. It's kind of like 8-bit pixel art kind of style. I like it so far. It's good. Good.
So it's like Oregon Train.
Not
To
really.
say Oregon
No.
Trail, but it worked.
No, it's not like
Oregon train. Because these zombies want your organs.
Accidental joke. Yeah.
Whoops. But yeah, I like it so far. I will be
It's good.
playing more of that. I still haven't had a chance to play Days Gone. God damn it. But I'll get
Oh
there.
yeah, I saw your unboxing video.
Yeah. Got to unbox it, but I haven't touched the fucking actual game yet. I'm kind of afraid to, just because the reviews and stuff like that, and just hearing how buggy it is, but I'm still excited to play it. It looks cool. I think I'll probably enjoy it. It probably won't be worth, what I paid for it, the full, $60, but whatever. It's zombies. I like zombie games. We'll see.
Zombies.
Zombies. Did I watch anything this week? I've been watching The Outer Limits. That's about it. It's a good show. It's terrible, but it's great.
So
It's fun to go, it's fun to watch old TV shows like that because you're like, oh my god, it's that person and that person. Like you see these celebrities that are like big now, and you see their baby form. It's weird.
I know all about that. X-Files.
But yeah, Outer Limits is kind of like those Tales from the Crypt kind of shows and like the Twilight Zone and stuff like that.
The Scary Door.
The Scary Door?
Yeah.
Is that a show?
It's
I want to see that.
It's the Twilight Zone. I think it's on Futurama. It's
For
Twilight
children?
Zone. No, it's just like their version of the Twilight Zone.
Oh.
It's
It
very
just
good.
sounds like the baby version of the Twilight Zone for babies.
Cody knows. Cody watches Futurama like a normal person.
Oh, wow.
Fuck you.
Futurama's garbage.
You're garbage.
Wow.
What else did you do this week? Garbage man.
Yeah, that was kind of it, really. Not a really exciting week for me.
Wow.
Worked a lot. Slept a little. Good times.
I do know.
Wow. We played Conan. We built a fucking giant wall around our town because last time it got purged. So that was fun.
We built it out of rock, right?
Yeah, well, sandstone.
So would you say that we built the city?
On rock and no roll?
But not roll.
Rocks roll.
Wow. So, okay. I guess
Actually,
you're right.
You can roll again. You can roll again now.
No, fuck you.
Wow.
Oh, and we played Shoesting a little bit. I guess I played a couple things. It's not so bad.
World War II shoesting.
What
That is the
other
only
thing is there?
Shoesting.
Yeah.
Well, there's black shoesting. Wow.
Excuse me?
Hold on, out of context. Phrase that right.
There's 4 Black Ops now.
You
There's
need
4
to watch
Black
your
Ops
words,
games
mister.
now.
Oh,
I know.
Black Ops. See, you have to add the other word, otherwise
Yeah.
you're gonna get.
But you
banned.
can't say it too fast, otherwise you're saying something.
Black
else.
Cops?
Black Cops.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
So, Cody,
Yeah.
How was your week?
Been sick, getting better. All I got is a bunch of fucking mucus stuck in my throat now, and I binged Russian Doll on Netflix, even though I don't ever watch anything on there, but I watched that.
The
It
fuck
was
is Russian
fantastic,
doll?
and I can't talk about it. Fuck, it's
What the
really
hell?
good. It's kind of like imagine Groundhog Day and Final Destination,
What?
Interesting.
and that's all I can say of
So
it.
imagine
So you have to go watch it.
imagine
But a
a
lot more
fucking
vulgar, like
omelet
rated
in a
R
salad.
version
With
of
bleach.
those movies. And I've been binging, or not binging, binge playing, I guess. I've been playing the not first two, I guess the reboots, whatever. The fucking Wolfenstein games by id, the new ones.
Oh, getting ready for the new one?
No, but I just seen like good things, and I finally got around to playing them, and I'm still
That's
playing the
random
new
as
Colossus.
fuck.
I'm like 80% of the way through.
Nice.
Wait, there's like 3, right? Because there's Youngblood
There's-
or
No, Youngblood's not out yet. Youngblood is the 4th one. So there's
what's the one that's there's 2 versions of the first one. I remember.
The first one is there's a prequel called The Old Blood, which takes place
That's
during
DLC though.
No, it's a
It's
standalone
standalone,
game.
but it's standalone DLC. It's like Blood Dragon or whatever.
It takes place during the war with the Nazis, and then after, so that's the prequel
That
to
one war.
A New Order. A New Order is like Wolfenstein 1 reboot, and The Old Blood is its prequel. And then after the New Order is the new Colossus. And then after the new Colossus is Youngblood, which is the new one that's not out yet.
It'd be
But they're
funny
really
if you
fucking
played
good.
through all the other games just to not play the new one.
I don't have money for the new one, but
Oh,
so
steal
far
it.
they're really good.
That's
Like
what thefts
it's
for.
stupid good because you can dual wield any weapon in the game and it doesn't slow your character down. It's like Doom, but if Doom guy could hold double guns and you're mowing down like 30 Nazis in one room.
Can you dual wield rocket launchers?
I don't even think I really got a rocket launcher in the game yet, but it's been fucking insane. Like I'll get 2 upgraded like machine guns and I'll just run around and it doesn't tamper with your speed and I just sprint through rooms mowing down people with 2 fucking big ass machine guns at both my, and yet I still die. It's not an
Die.
easy game. America.
Isn't the main character named like DJ Blazkowicz or something?
William J. Blazkowicz.
What a douche.
He's the all-American hero.
He's got.
I like that
good
they
acting
actually
skills.
turned him into something because he was like super ass generic dude back in the day.
And now he's just like, I'm gonna kill some goddamn Nazis in my
Exactly.
wheelchair.
So he's
He's-
Adam Jensen, except in Germany.
What? Adam Jensen has substance.
No, I mean like the way he talks. Like, I didn't ask for this.
Oh,
Nazi Germany.
Yeah, pretty much. He's kind of like that. But like, he's not like gruffy like Adam Jensen, where he sounds angry and angst all the time. Like, Adam Jensen's like this. I'm so fucking mad that half my body got blown up. Like,
yeah,
Williams,
that's actually not a bad
dude.
impression.
Williams kind of going through it, and he just narrates it, and he's just like, I remember the smell of America. I can't wait to kill some goddamn Nazis. And
Which
it's
is-
just like he's
you
really
know where he
calm.
got that from, though, right? Like he talks just like J.C. Denton did in the first game. It's almost like they're the same person.
Yeah, but it's just like he's fucking. Oh god, what was that game? I just lost track. Fuck.
The final station.
No, the best narrated first-person shooter game about an American killing non-Americans. It has to be Rogue Warrior.
Yeah, why isn't this game racist? If Resident Evil
I've never
5 is
played Rogue
racist,
Warrior. I haven't even heard shit about it. I don't even know what that game's
You
about.
don't know what Rogue War? It has Mickey Rourke as the voice actor, and it's literally the entire game is just him going fucking terrorist piece of fucking shit. It's fucking hilarious. Look up like a reviewer gameplay. It's really bad, but it's really funny.
Yeah,
It's
I
also
had a
by
copy
Bethesda.
by mistake once. Like, I just ended up having a disc with no case of it, and I was like, where did I get this? And I never touched it. I'm pretty sure I still have it lying around.
You should. It's like 2 hours long. You can beat it in an afternoon. It's really
what else,
Yeah,
Cody?
the Wolfenstein games are pretty intense.
What else?
I've been playing Descenders. which
fuck
that's
is
pretty
that?
decent. It's like a free ride biking procedurally generated game.
That is weird.
It is. I just like the fact that like you. It's just like okay, go fucking dick around on a bike, and you just go on the top
I
of a
mean,
mountain and
can't
go
you do that
downhill
for
like
real?
100 miles per
And get
hour on
some
a bike and
exercise?
just fuck yourself up on a tree and fly across.
It's like those people be like, "Why the fuck are you playing FIFA? Just go outside with some friends and a football." I don't have friends.
Go into your
Shit,
front
yeah,
yard
I
and kick a
forgot.
ball.
The Sea of Thieves 1 year anniversary came out, and I actually started playing the story that they added in because there's like a story now, and it's stupid fucking long. And I guess they're adding more later, and there's a fuck ton of new features.
And that was your week,
Yeah, essentially.
essentially. Still sounds like a pretty fun week, other than being sick.
Yeah,
what
but
are you saying?
good
Compared
now.
to Sean's shitty week, that was great.
No, I'm saying that sounds like you had a pretty good week.
Yeah.
But literally, like the ward has one of those take a number ticket things, where like if you come into the ward, you gotta take a number, and at some point it'll be like now number blah blah being sick.
Oh
Just
yeah,
all
what the
fucking
fuck?
taking-
We rotate
like
sick people
medication.
here.
Everyone got sick, but except for me. And then with this past week, I was like, yeah, now I feel like shit because the fucking pollen's kicked.
I feel
I
like
haven't been sick in 6 months, and I'm now also coming down with like a migraine and a
So
fever.
once Cody's done, it's your turn.
Yeah, we really are.
I feel like
fucking
Diz
rotating.
and I are like the captains of the sick club.
You
You
were sick
started-
for like 4 goddamn weeks.
Hey, I don't fuck around. When I get sick, I commit. Okay.
You don't go to work. You don't go outside.
No, I go to work. I just get real sick. Oh wow.
failing
Wow.
you.
Oh,
Wow.
He's not that fucking old. He's like 18.
Hey, and you know what? This has been a thing my entire life. So fuck you.
just wait till summer. I'll win.
Sean's turning
I'll have you
19
both
soon.
beat. What?
one day.
Nick,
Mm.
how was your week?
Oh, holy fuck.
He's like, oh no.
So, exam week was this last week, and I had my last exam on Thursday. So, you're not going to hear about school from me for 3 months, so whoever gets sick of that, there you go. I had my exam at 8 a.m. on Thursday for like 3 hours. I finished in an hour, though. That's sounded weird. But I was up for like 2 nights straight studying. And then on Thursday, I came back home, and I was like, I leave on Friday to go home because I go to college. And I was like, I'm going to sleep for today. So I fell asleep. And I was like, I'm going to sleep for like a good 8 hours. And then my parents called at 6 and woke me up and were like, hey, we're like an hour away. So hopefully you packed. And I was going to pack like all night because I was going to sleep all day. And I was like, well, shit. So I had to pack in like 2 hours and got all my shit out of there. And then I was going to go to bed at 1. And then my buddy came over with a handle of vodka and like a 6-pack of beer and was like, we got to celebrate. I was like, we got to celebrate. So that lasted until 7 a.m. and then I had work at 9.
So you're
So,
basically fancy, like alcoholic way of saying you haven't gotten to play anything new.
well,
I
yeah.
haven't watched
Way to
anything
dodge that bullet.
that showed up.
Well, no, I played my DS on the plane. I played Final Fantasy IV for like an hour.
You played the DS on the planet? Don't
what
we
I
all
heard.
do that?
No, on the plane. But yeah, on
Oh.
the planet as well. Just right outside the hemisphere. But no, and then I came back home yesterday. Today's Saturday. Oh, I'm sorry. Today's Tuesday. Whenever this goes up.
It's fucking Monday.
It's Monday.
Yeah, ish.
But I went to bed at like 3 a.m. because I was unpacking and shit. And then I told Sean, I was like, Sean, I might sleep in. And then after 7 hours, I woke up feeling amazing. I was like, oh, never fucking mind. I'll be out.
For no fucking mind.
I watched Full Metal Jacket this week. I'm trying to forget
I
when.
still have to see that movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Honestly,
it either.
Honestly, I don't know why. And maybe someone can explain this without just being like, fuck you, you don't get cinema. I'm not a big fan of Stanley Kubrick movies.
I feel like
just-
it's an acquired taste.
I feel like as a director, he has really good ideas and really good, like, cool, like, concepts and themes, like The Shining, and, you know, I really
I
do
love
like
The
Clockwork
Shining.
Orange. I like it too, but the thing is, I find that his movies have a lot of scenes that are like establishing shots that just go on for way too fucking long.
Well, I think that's more of like a symptom of that era. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of his movies are older, and just that era of filmmaking, things were a lot slower paced, and you had a lot more build up and, a lot more, like, I don't know, just downtime between, like, the important parts of the films. I've noticed that a lot, like, watching older movies. Like, there's just a lot of scenes that probably could have been removed or shortened, but they just kind of draw out, and that's just, that's how movies were at the time.
Yeah, I imagine that, like, because I mean, he made movies for a long time. Like, I imagine that's what he learned would work. Is to have, like, because his, like, thing, right? Even in Space Odyssey, is like these establishing shots that, like, give you the scope of the situation, and it kind of sinks in. And I don't know, maybe I'm just like, ADHD ridden 21st century kid, but I don't know. It's a little, like, nerve wracking. But Full Metal Jacket, the first half, if you've watched it, I didn't really care for him that much, but the second half was really fucking good.
I think a good example of that too is like the Terminator series, because like present day Terminator is like fucking crazy action and explosions, and like there's never a dull moment. Whether those movies are good or bad is another story, but that's kind of how the current movies are. But if you look at like Terminator 1, that movie is slow as fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. I love Terminator 1's one of my favorite
No,
movies.
it's a great movie. I'm not saying that slow movies are bad. I'm just saying it's more of the time. Yeah, it's just how movies were made back then.
Apparently they're remaking Terminator again with an all-female cast. Which...
Did you say no, Jazz?
I said, well, how movies were made back then. Well.
Oh, wow. You're right.
Movies now are garbage.
Yeah.
Movies now are kind of trash.
But they're quality. They're quality garbage.
They're 4K garbage.
Half the
they're
movies are
fucking
CG.
$60 million worth of garbage.
Can you believe that we've reached a point where movies have, like, more into the production budget than, like, the actual, like, well, what do you call it? I'm trying to remember what the term is. Like, more is spent on editing the movie and making it look good than actually, like, filming and making sure the right actors are doing the right stuff.
It's actually really kind of fucked up if you think about it. The budget, the vast majority of the budget is advertising, actors,
that too, yeah.
And
Marketing,
effects.
Yeah.
3 things that really don't matter if you think about it, because if you have a shit script or like just a bad story or bad acting, I mean, I guess that factors into the high profile actors, but like if you have a bad story, nothing matters. It doesn't matter how much you polish it or advertise it or whatever, it's still going to be garbage. But like most of the budget doesn't even go into like the actual core of what the movie is. You think like the script writers and the directors would get paid more than anybody else or any other aspect of a film, but it's not true.
Yeah, it's the backbone of the fucking...
In about that too, I find that they're not paying actors enough for what they're making them do.
Unless you're Robert Downey Jr.
Well, you know how like movies that are like half CG'd, or like the fucking Disney remakes nowadays, they're half CG, so like the actors half the time are just sitting there alone doing nothing, but they still have to like focus on random blank spots because
they have to look at a tennis ball.
Yeah, like if you want an example, because this argument came up at one point, is the Beauty and the Beast remake. They had Emma Watson sitting at the dinner table. There's no utensils, there's no dishes, there's nothing in the room but her. Yeah,
that's just
the whole,
lazy.
Like, edit all that shit in.
The PR guest part, like there's.
Oh, I guess that kind of makes sense.
Everything's dancing, and apparently she was bored as fuck because like there's nothing for her to do for the entire duration of that song.
Do you guys remember the Hobbit trilogy from 2012?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I hated it too. You guys know Ian McKellen, the guy who plays Gandalf, played it in the original, played in the new one.
Magneto.
Yeah, that too. Ian McKellen is a old fucking actor. He's a really good actor, but he's also like his origin is theater, right? Like actual theater with people and stage performance and all that. And when they were filming The Hobbit, apparently he like literally started crying on set once because it was literally just him talking to himself with a bunch of fucking green and blue panels all around him with no actual actors, nothing. It was, and I feel like that kind of is very exemplary of the fact that we've reached a point where, CGI is cool. The Matrix set an interesting standard for, stop motion and editing shit in where you could, make it look cooler and better. But nothing is ever going to beat an actual human being acting with like their face, their body, their tone, their language, everything. You're never going to replace that. It's never going to be, even monsters. They're never going to be as authentic or as visceral and, like real if you actually put something there.
You know what? I actually don't believe you. I get what you're saying, and I mean,
you can CGI anything to look all pretty and polished, but
that's the thing. Like they're starting to replace actors entirely with complete CG, and it's believable. So like in the future, what the fuck does that look like?
I don't know.
I agree with Nick though. Like if a monster is an actual person with the makeup on, that's a lot more terrifying than a fucking computer generated thing.
Because it's like a physical presence, even because your brain can sort of tell. Like you can usually, it's like 90% of the time you can tell when something is fake in CGI, and when you can't, and when it actually feels like a real person, it is much more like psychologically impactful. It carries a lot more of a
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I think there's two things there. Like one, just like the way that CG is going, I'm not saying right now, but in the future, I think it's going to get to the point where we can't even tell that it's a CG person. Like what is that new Will Smith movie where they make him look younger? I can't think of what it's called.
Gemini Project or something.
Yeah, something like that. Like it looks Gemini incredible. And you can see like genuine emotion on a CG character's face with tears and everything. Like it's really impressive, and as that gets more and more detailed, like eventually we probably won't even be able to tell the difference. And the other part I think is completely on the actor. It makes it easier to portray those kind of feelings when you have something real in front of you to react off of, and just to mentally act that out because it's more believable to you. But as an actor, if you can make all that happen in your head and see it, you can act just as well as you could if you had it in front of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I seen a interview earlier, and it was on Detective Pikachu, and can't remember the dude's name. I think it's something Smith, Justice Smith or something.
Will Smith.
I think that's the dude in Detective Pikachu. He said that he had to act 75% of that movie with nothing in front of him.
Wow.
Which leads back to my point of they should pay them more, because that's fucking bullshit. These guys like
seriously, like Shaun or like whoever, like Shaun, you do acting, Cody, y'all do voice acting. So imagine like someone asks you, okay, act terrified, act like there's Godzilla about to eat your face, and you're like,
similar things.
But if someone puts like a mask in front of you and actually like, runs at you wearing something terrifying, you're gonna fucking jump just because.
Like,
I don't know.
Act like you're choking on candy, or choke on candy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, that makes it easier, and easier can turn into more believable. But I think that's on the actor, like their skill level and whether they can pull that off or not. Like there's some people that can just cry on command. And it's not like when you cry, it's real. You're technically acting, but you're crying real tears. So like you're in your mind, you're doing whatever you need to do to make that real emotion happen. So you can pull off pretty much anything, fear, sadness, happiness, whatever you need to do. You can, in your head, you can make that a real thing. You can make that reality and make it believable.
I think the best actor in video game history is Jill in Resident Evil Remake.
Wow.
Best
okay, we've been on our weeks for like a half hour. We need to move the fuck on.
Was there anything else for your week, Nick?
No.
Week, Nick.
Oh yeah, no. The video coming soon with Shaun. Anyway, yeah. That's not my week, but anyway.
That's updates.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, as for me, my week was pretty.
Oh yeah, Jazz, how was your week?
Shut the fuck up. Oh, thanks for asking.
Hey, Jazz, how was your week?
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Time for some week, Jazz.
My week is over now. Bye.
What?
I'm gonna jump out the basement window. Fuck you.
You're not even in the basement, though.
I know, but I can walk there. Fuck, it's
You're
too
in the
far.
West Wing on the 3rd floor of the wall. You can't.
How did you know that? So, it was pretty normal. It was pretty, like, same as my other weeks. I mean, one of the doctors at work wasn't there, so it was pretty fucking dull. So I had, actually, one of the days I got off. We were supposed to work till 7 p.m., but she was like, hey, you want half a day off? And I was like, I'm gonna take the one where we fucking work till 7. So I had a whole day of just going home. I recorded some lines, and I played some video games.
What are those?
Video games? They're these things you can play on your phone.
Is that like fuck you?
You can and you can download them.
And you can hook up your Wiimote.
You know
to
what?
your
I
phone.
quit. I quit this
No,
shit.
no.
Fuck podcasts.
No.
You broke Shaun.
It's like now it's a not cast.
What?
So I don't know. I had nothing. I did play a new game. I played that because like on May 9th or some stupid shit that isn't May 1st. PS4 PlayStation was like, okay, we'll release the free PS Plus for May now. And coincidentally, my PS Plus wore out like on that day.
They
So I
did
had to
that on
burn on, like-
purpose.
I know. I had exactly like $23 in my bank account, and it cost $25 for a card to get like the points on the thing to buy the fucking.
You know they do that shit on purpose.
Yeah. I went to EB Games. I was like, can I get a card for like 1 month of PS Plus? They're like, that's not a thing. I'm like, yes, it is. They're like, no. I'm like, what? Okay.
They
Can I
quit
get 3 months?
doing
They're like,
it. Sony quit fucking selling cards in stores.
But they still do. They only sell the yearly one.
Why can't
It's
you
like,
just?
You know what? No.
There's no tax if you buy it.
Yeah, they
through the-
still sell like the PS Plus cards. They just don't sell cards for digital
month one.
games.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
If they do, it's probably still
Oh, you mean
stock,
for
but they said that they're not like doing it anymore.
for like specific games?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like
Yeah, you can buy like
go and get-
$20 worth of, or $25.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're calling them like PlayStation gift card.
Wow.
And yeah, like I wanted one that was $20, but no store I went to had it. They only had the 50, so I was like, "Fuck." But finally I reactivated my PS Plus. I got What Remains of Edith Finch. That game is fucking weird.
Is it good?
know.
Bad?
It's, you know what? You
It's
asked
a
me
walking
that.
sim, but
Yeah, I didn't know that. So when you asked me like, is it like weird good or bad? Oh my god, there's giant turkeys in the backyard. What the fuck?
What?
Sorry.
she's being
like,
attacked.
There's giant turkeys.
Guys, we have to reconvene in an hour. There's a turkey attack coming.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry.
Wow.
These, I didn't know how to answer your question because I was like, is it bad or is it good? I mean, the story seems kind of cool, but fucking weird. And I was just like, oh, is this? I can't tell what kind of game this is, but I'm just gonna keep playing it and see, and you guys should just play it and see. But my summary of it is it's fucking weird. It's fucking weird, and I'm not sure how to feel about it.
Well, you're still probably pretty early in too, so.
Yeah, sort of.
Granted, walking sims are typically not very long either, but you know.
Granted. I did also went to the thrift store and found PS2 games that I can't wait to play.
Fuck yeah.
Finally got Splinter Cell.
Is it the first one?
Yeah.
Wait a
Assuming
minute.
the first one is on PS2. I don't know.
I don't think it was. I think the first one was only on Xbox. It's probably 2 or 3. I could be
it doesn't
wrong,
have
but
a number. It doesn't have a number. It just
it
says
just
Splinter
says
Cell.
Splinter Cell?
Yeah.
Huh, maybe
Unless
they
somebody
ported
put
it
the, like,
later.
flyer and deported it.
Wow.
Winter
I
Cell is
can't wait.
amazing.
So good.
You know what? It'll be hard to play because I'm just gonna be thinking of the marshmallow thing, the Adventures of Bob and whatever. I forgot what the other game was, but one of them was Headhunter, which I don't know anything about.
You
It's-
said the other one was
It's
True Crime.
very
Yeah,
mediocre.
True Crime. That's it.
True
I was-
Crime is amazing. Headhunter is.
I
Just
played
five-
the shit out of True Crime 1 and 2, and then I didn't play like Sleeping Dogs for years, and then I finally got around to
So
beating it
good.
like 2 years ago, and I was like, holy shit, that's really good.
Yeah. Christopher
like
Walken's in it in True
Wow,
Crime.
is he walking?
He's walking all over the place.
Wow. The Walking Dead. So when And I plan on playing those. What did I watch? I started this new show yesterday. It's called Flinch. And it's like everybody gets put in these situations where like they're holding like these metal bars through metal hoops and there's like balloons popping next to them or something, and if they flinch they get electrocuted.
To death.
Or they're like they throw like a fucking washing machine towards them that like just misses their head. But if they flinch, they like back up into an electric fence. It's just
What?
like
That sounds like illegal.
No, it's all been tested and it's all safe, and they're like
Only a
Except
couple
for the
people
washing
died.
machine. We don't know where that came from.
yeah, they're like, we didn't. One guy will be there and he'll be like, you guys tested this like 1,000 times before this, right? And then like the hosts are watching and they're like, we didn't test it.
Testing what?
But it's really cool, and then like each host has like their own person, and if their person flinches too many times, like they get more points, and then they have to do a flinch test after. So it's just one of those game shows, but it's really funny. I enjoyed that.
I want to see a variation of that where like they force you to hold like 2 cups filled with acid, and they like fire guns like 2 feet away from your head, and if you flinch you get the acid on your hands and on your body.
My favorite episode was when 2 guys woke up in an abandoned bathroom and one of them had to cut off their leg. Oh wait, that was Saul.
If you flinch, you have to cut your own leg off.
Wait, isn't that what that one Joe Rogan thing was about? What was it?
Fear Factor.
Fear Factor, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was at first, and then I was like, oh, so it's not just like conquer your fears. It's actually like, you know, like a loud sound is gonna make you jump, and we're gonna make fun of you if you jump because it's normal, but you're also gonna get like dunked upside down in a water tank. It's great. It's great. And yeah, I think that was pretty much my week. I was supposed to go to Comic-Con tomorrow because Ottawa Comic-Con is this weekend, but it's Mother's Day, so it's a great weekend to not go to a convention.
That's a weird weekend to have a fucking con.
Yeah, and the worst part is my sister volunteers there at Comic-Con, so she's not gonna be here tomorrow. Like, and now I have to make brunch. But yeah, that was pretty much my week. Yeah.
Nice.
I had a fun fact or a fun question that, and if I'm wrong, like feel free to make fun of me because I'm used to it. But why doesn't PS4 have a music player visual thing like the PS3 does? You know, with the Earth.
The Earth.
Yeah, like on the PS3 it's the Earth, on the Xbox it's like those blobby music
Because
bars.
nobody gives a shit about that stuff, so they decided to not waste money on it anymore.
I do. An Xbox has it if you're playing music.
Wonderful. Like I love to fall asleep with music on and having like the Earth rotating because that was awesome. But now I'm listening to music and I have to stare at my fucking menu. It's horrible. At least let me download one. Like, But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna stop complaining. So you know what time it is. It's your turn to take my job.
It's time for some news.
No. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
what the
Everybody do the beeping.
Everybody beep.
We're supposed to be the robot. Beep, 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 beep. There were a lot of fucking news.
That was a fucking mess.
You know what? It always is. So
You're right. It's our thing.
It's our thing. There were a lot of news. I did like 4 websites, and I got so sick of finding new ones all the time. So I was like, you know what?
I'm really glad you wanted to do this week because, like, I was really dreading it because there was a shit ass ton of news, and I was like,
I know,
fuck.
and some of them aren't even important, and I probably ended up grabbing the ones that aren't important.
You grabbed all the ones that I wouldn't have got.
I only like to find shit that's like actually interesting, like shit that not maybe everybody knows.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that Sega bought a company, and I'm surprised they have money to do that.
How did I not find that anywhere?
Yeah,
You go right ahead on that one.
Who do they think they are buying a company? They're on their last legs.
2 Point Studios is now owned by Sega is the headline.
Oh, that's why, because who the fuck is that?
2 Point Hospital. They're like an indie dev thing, but I'm like, why does Sega need another company when all they do is make Sonic games that suck? and
Movies.
it's just like they don't really put anything else out, and they're practically bankrupt. They, like last year, they lost 75% of their fucking revenue, and they're practically broke right now. How the fuck do you have money to buy a company?
Yeah.
Maybe they're hoping the company will do all the work and bring their sales.
That's
back
what I
up.
feel like, but I'm also like feared that they're gonna be forced to just make another shitty Sonic game like every company said.
But they're making the movie.
Wow.
You mean the Sonic movie that doesn't look like Sonic?
Sonic is
Exactly.
spin dashing a hole into the ground to fucking bury themselves
Hey,
in.
maybe it's the Sonic spin-off.
Oh.
I seen a post, and oh my god, I don't know. You guys probably seen it. It said Jim Carrey suffers major back injury on the set of Sonic movie. Quote, Jim Carrey, I have to carry this whole fucking film.
Damn.
Fucking Jim Carrey. He has to carry the film.
I can't wait for that, to be honest. Like, I know it's gonna be garbage, but I really want to see Jim Carrey as Robotnik.
Ugh. I'll watch
So-
it, but I'm not looking forward to it.
That's still, yeah. I'm glad you found that because Sega buying a fucking wow. No,
They're
No.
they're gonna die soon. After the movie comes out, maybe that'll be the final nail.
it'll be like the movie comes out, and I don't know if you guys watched Robot Chicken, but there's that fucking clip where they made Pluto Nash, and then like everybody just started killing each other when the revenues came back. Everyone's just like jumping out the windows and shooting each other in the office, and like massive riots over Pluto Nash.
God. I am really just shocked that they've made it as long as they have. I don't understand how they're pulling it off.
Wow, that looks like it's gonna be garbage. But yeah, speaking of garbage, I found this one and it's literally entitled "The Randy Pitchfork." It looks like I wrote Pitchfork. The
Pitchfork.
Randy Pitchfork stuff gets worse. That was the
Ah.
name of this article,
Good.
and it was beautiful. So, like, with all the shit that's happening with Twitter and Randy Pitchford and all the obviously everybody knows the Gearbox Studio, whatever
Mhm.
CEO. So it gets worse.
Yep.
So in light of like all that garbage, voices have started coming out to criticize him over the years. Like they started coming out over the years. That statement right there. And one of them was the more notable one is David Eddings, the voice of Claptrap from the Borderlands series. He reported that he never received the proper payments for his role in the first 2 games, and that he's not returning for the 3rd game. That we knew, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Did we also know Eddings apparently alleged
Assault?
that Randy
Yeah.
Pitchford physically assaulted him in a hotel?
Yeah. Yeah, apparently there was other abuse before that, but that was like the breaking point is that Randy Pitchford shoved him publicly in a hotel or whatever at GDC, and like a few days after that, Randy fired him.
Yeah, but now Gearbox
Allegedly.
stated they're gonna take him back. They'll happily welcome Eddings back as the voice of Claptrap, and would be open to future opportunities to work with him.
He said, all I want is a little bit of payment and an apology. And Randy Pitchford said, fuck you.
Yeah, it's so fucking stupid. Yeah, it was like speaking of stupid news. That was
See,
it.
I'm really excited for Borderlands, and it's like it's got a lot of things going for it. And then Randy Pitchford likes to walk in the building and go, "Let me fuck all of this up."
He's like,
Just him, not even
just
Gearbox.
every-
Not even Gearbox doing shitty or
It's
shady
Randy
things.
Pitchford, yeah.
It's just Randy Pitchford being an ass.
he just everywhere he goes, he just starts lighting shit on fire. It's fucking ridiculous. That guy, they got to get rid of him. He's got to go. Like,
Randy Pitchford
there's so much
he'll set
shit.
Gearbox on fire and goes, "Who set my company on fire? I'm really upset about this."
like seriously, this was something I was going to bring up if you didn't. So let's do a little recap here. So first, there were the allegations about Pitchford stealing $12 million from employee bonuses, and then that whole child pornography thing on his flash drive. Then there was the back and forth battle between Pitchford and Troy Baker regarding whether or not Troy was going to come back and reprise his role for Borderlands. You know, Pitchford.
Reese.
Yeah, Pitchford said Troy declined the role. And
Troy's like, no,
and he's like,
I wasn't
no,
asked.
nobody asked me. And they went back and forth several times. That was just a fucking battle on Twitter. It was a fucking mess. Then Pitchford said there would be no microtransactions in Borderlands, which was a fucking lie.
I don't count buying fucking costumes as microtransactions. I count it as
They are
DLC.
literally microtransactions. You're buying costumes piecemeal. That's
like when I was
microtransactions.
introduced to microtransactions when they came out, that's like when it came out, it was labeled as buying crystals to like speed up shit, or like buying microcurrency in game to buy in game items. If you're buying something with like money outright, that's DLC.
But that's more free to play. Like the whole crystals and all that kind of shit. That's like a free to play model.
But that was still when the like term microtransactions was created. It was created
Sure.
for that.
But
and
it's
now
also
people have
grown and
lumped it
evolved
in with
too.
DLC, and now it's all like a blurry line. And I'm like, no, the costumes are DLC. It's not microtransactions.
Like
Technically, he didn't lie, but it's all how you interpret it, I guess.
So when you have
It's
like
the same shit as
a
Borderlands
pack of
2, but nobody
costumes
complained about it on
and
Borderlands
story
2.
DLC, and like you have these larger pieces of DLC that you can download, fine. Like Borderlands 2 did that, and those were not
Nobody
microtransactions.
complained, but now it's
But
a big deal.
when you're buying individual outfits one by one, what are those? They're small transactions, hence microtransactions. Like it's the same fucking thing. It's not as bad as the free-to-play model where you have, you know, all these different currencies and things like that. That is worse, and that's probably where the confusion was. But there's a form of microtransactions in the game.
I still say it's DLC unless you're buying currency in game.
And just being the CEO of a company and knowing how much of a sore spot microtransactions are in the industry, you might want to kind of tiptoe a little bit, you know, when you're talking about that kind of thing. When you're saying there's no microtransactions, no small transactions, people are going to think, oh, okay, well, there's just going to be regular DLC. And then when it comes out that, oh, there's all these small purchases that are attached to the game, what's that going to look like?
DLC.
No, they're small transactions. They're microtransactions.
I don't know. I just think it's really dumb, and I just think people are blowing it up for really no reason to misconstrue. Because, I mean, like I said, if nobody complained about it during Borderlands 2, I don't see why people are complaining about it now, because all those people complaining about it all was 100% for it and bought all that shit on Borderlands 2, and now they're just like, since microtransactions and DLC are now lumped together, it's just like, oh, now it's a problem when it wasn't a problem before. So all the people buying it are now bitching about it, even though they didn't have a problem with it. And now there's a problem all of a sudden. And it's really dumb.
Well, the thing is, he created the problem. If he had not said anything, it would have been fine. But since he made a statement, like bringing attention to this, saying, hey, everybody, look at me. There's no microtransactions. You're putting a spotlight on yourself, and people have expectations.
Even if you would have phrased it as the DLC is going to be the same as 2, cosmetics and story, people are still going to bitch about it being microtransactions. Either way, they're going to take a problem that they didn't have before and make a problem out of it, no matter how he would have worded it.
Regardless.
I'm sure the wording made it worse, but people were still going to be like, well, that's microtransactions. Why are you doing this? And he's going to be like, it's the same shit as they've been doing.
But anyway, regardless, so like after that, like clearly people were upset, and then he took a really aggressive and inappropriate defensive stance when called out on it.
Yeah, at that point, that's on him. I
And-
can't defend him at that point.
So like as a CEO, you can't fucking be like that. You can't, you know, you have to be professional, and you know, you need to be calm and collective. And even if, whether he's right or wrong, he should have owned it and been like, hey, sorry about the confusion. This is what we're trying to do. What we meant was this. What we're doing is that, and cleared things up professionally. And that's not what he did. And especially at this point where we've already had all these other fucking problems building up to this, you know, that should have also been factored into how he addressed the situation. He's already being painted, in this way because he's fucking digging himself into a grave. So why would you make things even worse by being an asshole about the situation? Why not just own
he's
up
Randy
to
Pitchford.
it? Exactly, which is
Like I said,
he's a piece
the
of shit.
initial thing, I have a problem with gamers at that point in a weird way, because I'm just like, you're making a problem that you didn't have into a problem that you will now magically have. That's what kind of irks me. But after that, I'm like, yeah, and the rest of that's all Randy Pitchford being a fucking dumb cunt. That's on him after that.
I still haven't forgiven Randy Pitchford for Colonial Marines.
Yeah, I guess
I don't
that's
know
really
how he
where it
still
started.
defends that. He still defends that
No,
game.
like, listen, Alien and Aliens are two of my favorite fucking movies of all time. I was looking forward to playing as a fucking space marine, killing not space marine, whatever, Colonial Marine. I was looking forward to that game. And when Alien versus Predator, the game, is better than a canon fucking, like, what's the people who made it? Who are the producers for? It's Sega and the people who made Alien. Is it
Fox?
Fox? Yeah, and a Fox-approved canon game
NASA.
is worse than an Alien versus Predator like arcade shooter. What the fuck? Like,
But anyway, yeah, the moral of the story is Randy Pitchford is a fucking complete asshole. And if he keeps going the route that he's going now, like eventually,
I feel like there's going to be a council of like shareholders who are actually going to like, because I know
they've got
you
to
can
remove him.
They're going to. I feel like they're going to.
They almost have to. Like they're gonna ruin that company, or he's gonna ruin that fucking company. Because he's like, he's a figurehead of Gearbox. People associate Gearbox with him. And that's a problem because this guy's a piece of shit and he's just fucking up and over again, and just he's insulting the audience and just coming off as this total arrogant fucking shithead, and it's not good.
Gearbox is America.
Wow.
Randy Pitchford.
Gearbox is fucking dope. Randy Pitchford's a dumb cunt.
people are... Remember those Borderlands 2 DLCs? Like, people still fucking joke about that, but that was a real thing.
What's the joke about them? They're really good.
Yeah, they're good, but there's like 20 of them, and even when you get the Game of the Year edition, you still don't get all of them. And
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first games where, like, didn't they release multiple season passes for that?
No.
I don't think they have multiple seasons. I know for a fact that
The Handsome Collection has all the DLC. It has all the...
Oh, yeah,
No,
that-
I'm talking
yes,
about the
that-
original Borderlands 2.
Yeah, I bought Game of the Year edition of Borderlands 2 back in 2016, and I did not have half of the shit. For that game.
Yeah, maybe
It
that's
pissed
what I'm
me
thinking
off.
of. But like that's
Well,
a problem
there was,
when you buy the Game of the
they have
Year
the
edition,
normal
which
season
is
pass,
supposed
which
to have
gives you
all
4
the
story
DLC,
expansions.
and then you have to buy additional DLC on top of that. That's fucking horseshit.
Well, you don't have to.
If you if you want a full game, which is 99.99% what a Game of the Year edition is the entire experience, that's fucking horseshit.
Unless it's Spyro. Then you
Why
have to download
re-release the
other
game again if you're not going to put the whole complete experience on there? What are you going to release the
But
game
they
4,
did.
5,
Yeah.
6
Oh,
times
the
until
Handsome
everything's on
Collection.
it? That's garbage.
No. Okay, good. Nobody's saying that the Handsome Collection is good because you get everything for what?
Yeah,
The first
finally.
two, I think? Or... Is it first two? I don't know if it has...
No, it's the pre-sequel in 2.
Okay,
so it's
so
not the first
way it was, Borderlands 1 and 2 had one season pass, right? Each of them was 4 story expansions and fucking some costumes and whatnot, some nonsense in their Game of the Year or whatever. Maybe not Game of the Year, I shouldn't say that, but their season pass had some outfits and 4 story expansions. There was extra little bonus side missions you can buy that weren't real, like, you didn't have to get them. Like, you could say, yeah, it's part of the full experience, but I mean, like, Borderlands 2 is already a full experience, seeing as it's like 30 hours for like the story alone, and then like side missions adding on top of all of that. And the season pass giving you the 4 things that are actually like kind of giving you story missions. The rest of that is just like side missions that aren't, it's just side mission packs pretty much and whatnot. And a lot of those packs that give you the plus 10 levels, plus 11 levels are in these like those DLCs by themselves are in these story expansions. So if you want to buy the plus 10, plus 11 levels without buying the story expansions, you can. But if you buy the story expansions, they give them to you anyway.
No, I get that, and that's that's what it is. But my point is, when you buy when I buy a game of the year or any again, Handsome Collection was good because you got everything for both
Well,
games.
I'm saying there was no game of the year until the Handsome Collection, so they didn't release it 20 times over.
No, there was a game of the year, Borderlands 2.
There was for both.
Yeah.
There's GOTY edition for both, and it did. And I have the GOTY edition for 2, and that's what I meant is that I had it when it was game of the year, and I was really excited, and I still couldn't play some of the stuff with my friends, and I was like, "This is fucking."
Well, I had the game of the year edition for. No, you're right. I do have the Game of the Year edition for 2 on Steam, but it gave me all the DLC.
Well, it get here. Well, I don't want to pull up it specifically, but I know that there's 10 or 12 things that you don't get, because if you open the game and you go to your DLC, you can still buy the Headhunter challenges, a couple of other things, and it's just.
Where that gave it to me when I got it. It was a while ago.
Well,
I had it for a
we
few
just
years.
have to look into it to confirm. But the point is, you should just, if you're going to release a Game of the Year edition, it needs to be complete. The whole point of a Game of the Year edition is a celebration of, hey, this game did real well. As a thank you for everybody buying it, here's all the shit that you missed. Buy it again, play all the stuff. It should be a thank you to the fans, to the consumer.
You're right about that. I agree on that. But I'm just saying, when I got the whatever edition, I always got all the DLC. I never had to buy any.
Yeah, I could swear that it was missing some stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't played it personally. I just remember reading about stuff. But I'm just saying, if you're gonna release a Game of the Year, it needs to be complete. But let's move on from Borderlands. And Randy.
Two
Pitchford.
Worlds One Game of the
Randy
Year
Pitchford.
edition.
Fuck you, Randy. You did this.
We can move to a different company that's fucking people.
Wait, Sean, are you familiar with the Two Worlds One Game of the Year edition?
No.
It's the only edition apparently, but
What?
you know Two Worlds?
Actually, I played the first one, and despite it being a really awful game, I actually liked it.
It's funny, but I think if I'm wrong, then I'm gonna look like an idiot, but I'm 80% sure that they released the game only as Game of the Year edition after it came out, and it's because some magazine was Game of the Year potential because it's an actual.
What?
Wait, which game?
Two Worlds One. That really cracked out RPG where you could break the game in so many ways, and it's just.
Did it
I
maybe
was gonna
come out
say
on
something,
PC
but
first
didn't
and then
do that.
got Game of the Year and then ported over to
Yes.
console as Game of the Year?
Yes, and I really
makes
think.
sense, but that's still bullshit.
No, but I think the Game of the Year was because it had potential, and it's Game of the Year as in the most, the Game of the Year that has the most potential, and they were just we'll take anything, we'll take whatever.
Wow. What else,
Anyway.
Jazz?
So yeah, like I was saying, there's we can move to another company that's fucking people over. Riot Games.
Yeah.
What the?
Riot,
by
as you know, the
League of
fucking
Legends too?
makers. Yeah, League of Legends and all that. Nope, they're not making a sequel. They're over 100 of their employees on Monday walked out.
Riot Games is rioting.
No, it was
the
peaceful.
employees were-
I know, but
I
it's
know.
They
funnier
walked
if you say
out.
Riot Games is rioting.
Yeah.
They didn't run out.
They walked out in a protest on the forced arbitration policy. So
What's that?
Riot is now they're requiring their employees to submit to corporate mandated arbitration in event of disputes with the company. So they're also including them to sign away any rights to sue Riot as a condition of their employment. And
So it's
this
an
is only
NDA.
Yeah, it's
Kinda.
like we own you and you can't do anything. If anything happens, you can't sue us. They're just literally causing their employees, over 100 of them, to fucking walk out, bye. And,
Yeah,
this only
basically
affects
they had
new
to sign a
employees.
paper that said, if for any reason you feel like you need to sue us or take legal action, you're not allowed to do so. The only way that you can dispute any kind of a claim is to go through a third-party arbitrator, and they're going to resolve the issue.
What
Essentially,
the
your lawyers have to
fuck?
talk to our lawyers, and none of it can be out in the public.
Not, yeah,
Yeah.
kinda, yeah.
So if you get raped at work, you can't sue them without talking to their people.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, of course, you would go to the police.
It'd have to be settled in company, not at a court, and
That's
it'd have to
such
be like
horseshit.
you can't disclose or whatever. You can't like let it go out into the public. It all has to stay within like the business knows, but nobody else is allowed to know type shit.
Yeah. And
What the fuck?
as fucked up
What?
as that is, they do that to cover the company from like stupid petty bullshit where somebody's like, oh, well, I deserve more money, or this stupid fucking matter, I'm going to take you to court over this bullshit, because that's something that happens a lot of times to corporations and companies like that. So instead of having to repeatedly go to court over and over about stupid bullshit, this protects them for that. It's still really scummy.
But then
that's
it should
why
be
they
the
do
other way. It should be the other way around then. That it shouldn't be here's the blanket statement and then we work. It should be like, for these issues of monetary or financial, will you go through us?
Sure.
And then everything else should be, you can do whatever. Because
True.
you shouldn't just be like, you have no freedom and you have to ask for your rights. It should be,
it's
you
fucked
have
up,
all the
for sure.
freedom, but we reserve some rights. Like, if in this case, you can't complain about your paycheck. That's a normal thing. It's like you can't complain, like, because that is easily exploitable. But if it's like everything, then think about all the extensions of that. No, fuck that. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Well, they're also making it worse because they recently ended, like, the new employees don't have to sign it. It's just, like, the old employees.
Yeah, whoever's currently working there they're the ones right now who are just like, wow, we have to deal with this. But anybody else after their cycle that gets hired, they don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, all the people that are currently pissed off that matter, they don't qualify for this.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Riot totally supports the walk-off, like the protest. They're like, oh, we support it, but they haven't showed any sign that they're existing to, like,
But
change
remember
their
your
policy.
NDA.
Like, y'all are cool, but we're probably not gonna change our mind.
Yeah. Like, do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
Corporations.
We'll be making a barbecue over here if you change your mind.
And that's just kind
Can
of a
you
slap in
imagine
the face, too. They're just like, yeah, it's okay. You can do this. We'll allow it. And like you said, have a barbecue, support the fucking walkout.
Yeah, like,
all
they end
the...
up looking like
Wait, so who's... If the
Put
people...
money on the barbecue to support
Exactly.
you. We'll pay you to support you.
don't sue me if the hot dogs are gross, because you're not allowed to.
Wow.
Wait. So if the people are supporting... If the people at Riot, like the actual, like, higher-ups, are supporting the people who, yeah, like, we agree it's bullshit, then who's making this fucking decision? Like, the CEO? The people, like, above the people?
The employees in their contract are allowed to do these walkouts.
As long as they don't take legal action.
Well, they can't.
Yeah, they're not allowed to take legal action, but they can do the walkouts to be like, yeah, we're going to do this until our lawyers talk to your lawyers and we settle this in company.
Yeah, they're allowing them to voice their opinions and make their statement, and they're essentially changing their policy going forward, but they're not
'Cause it's good
revoking.
PR.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but they're not revoking that for the people that currently work there.
That's
so it's still a
fucking
slap in the
stupid.
face. Yeah.
Why? Dude?
But on the flip
they
side,
honestly don't give a fuck. We support this because it makes them look good,
yeah.
even though they look like shit.
But
We
on,
love our
on the other side of that
customers.
argument, like it's kind of fucking stupid. You're seeing a lot of this come up where like, oh, discrimination and this and that, and we're being forced to work all these hours and shit like that. Like, sure, I understand a lot of that is shitty, and sometimes it's legitimate, but I think sometimes it's not. But like, these people are signing a contract that says
By these people, Sean.
that says, hey, you're not allowed to take legal action for any reason if you work here. And they're like, oh, okay, sign. And then they work there, and then they get pissed off that they can't fucking take legal action when something bad happens. Like, for one, you should have more respect for yourself in that, be like, hey, if I'm put into a shitty...
I wouldn't work there. Would you work
like,
at a place
first
where you
off, that
sign up where you're
should
fucking-
raise a red flag, right? Like, what does that mean? Why are they making me do this? That's kind of scary. And second, if you find yourself in a position like that where you're being treated shitty or you're being forced to work hours that you don't want to do, fucking leave. Why would you sit? Like, I've heard all these horror stories about how terrible people are treated, and Like to the point where I heard a story about like the company not having a women's bathroom and shit like that. I don't know that that's true. That seems insane. Maybe it's true. I don't know. But if you're put into that situation, fucking leave. Why would you put yourself through that experience? Why would you stay in an environment where people are talking shit about you and treating you like you're not a human being and stuff like that? Leave. And then you can, whatever, tell your story to the internet and try to make it into a thing. But they're like, you staying with that company and dealing with that is 100% on you. You're causing that shit to happen to yourself by staying in that environment for whatever years, months, whatever it is. I don't understand that mentality.
Leaving would also be a much more definitive and effective statement as opposed to just bitching about it. Because you're still making money for the company if you're working. You're like, I'm going to complain for 2 hours, but then I'll work on the game for 7 hours.
You don't have to do a walkout if you don't work for them. You can go bitch out in public.
Exactly. There's nothing holding you back. And think about what that looks like. So, like, we take discrimination against women as an example. And it's like, if every woman that went there quit, what the fuck does that say? You know, wouldn't that raise a red flag? And then some of these women start to speak up. And then you look at that public record of all these people quitting this company, all these females quitting this company. There's your evidence. Boom. There's, you know, like, why would they start and then just quit? There's got to be a reason for that. That opens up a reason to investigate a situation right there just by doing that one action. Like, by staying there, you're just making things worse all around.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Because then the people who actually leave don't get taken as seriously. Because it's like, oh well, now you don't have a job and nothing got accomplished. But if it's like you said, if it's like visible that, you know, the demographic has shifted, then
which
I don't know.
The news, and there you go.
And
I don't understand why in this country people forget that your wallet is your number one way of voting and making decisions.
But that's why part of me thinks some of this is bullshit, because like all these people are just going to be willing to say fuck it and stay with this shitty company and not quit and not, you know, have that respect to not be treated that way. Come on. That doesn't seem very realistic. Because me personally,
it's also the fact that they're contract developers too, and they're going to get fired at the end of their cycle anyway.
They have no loyalty to that company because, like you said, they're freelance. They're going to be there for maybe a year, you know, typically months.
8 months, maybe fucking, you know, a little over a year, yeah. And then when their contract expires, because, you know, like, not to plug another podcast, but Funhouse does Dude Soup, and they talked a lot about this for like a few hours. Just these companies dangle over their head with these contracts to go, well, you could be a permanent part of our staff if you work like a bunch or whatever, and they dangle that over their head. And then whenever fucking the cycle ends, they get fired because they stayed in hopes of this fucking shiny carrot that they're like, well, I could be a permanent employee here and get health benefits. And at the end of their contract, they just get...
Yeah, like for me, I don't care like what I'm being paid or whether it's something I want to do or not. If I go and get a job and they treat me like complete trash or treat me like I'm like nobody or whatever, you know, I go in there and I bust my ass and I work harder than everybody and they just shit on me. Fuck you. I'm not going to stick around for that. You know, I'll go find a job that's better.
Did that for 9 years.
That's the sad thing people do, though, is like they see this promise of like, oh, I could work the higher parts in this company. If I work really hard as a freelancer, they'll hire me. And then they just get like shat on and they go through it because they have this fucking false hope, and then they get fired at the end of their cycle and they're like, well, shit.
Yeah, I just don't understand that mentality at all. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's really crazy though, because like even though a lot of these developers stick together, like when they do these walkouts and stuff, like it's nice that they do that, but there's also like stories within these companies that, you know, all these freelancers are looking for this fucking, like I said, you know, the shiny carrot on the string that they're following. They fuck each other over in private.
Yeah, it's kind of on them. If they communicated to each other and were like, hey, are you treated like this? Is this happening to you? Like, what the fuck is going on? You know, they could make that the focus, you know, instead of being like, oh, well, I want to move up in my career and I'll do anything for that and be treated like shit. You know, communicate the problems to each other, you know, and then once you get enough people on board, then you can take it up to the level where it needs to be addressed. You know, I don't understand. It's not that complicated.
I'm so surprised, and I keep telling myself this, and I don't see why other companies don't do it, because a lot of companies did, and they need to get a lot of key devs that are being treated like shit. Get together, go start your own fucking company with the money you've been paid as contractors.
Yeah.
Isn't that how companies used to be formed back in like the 90s, where it would be a bunch of people who
like make your own fucking
their
indie games, like make a really good indie team, make really good games, and then you get fucking, like, sadly, honestly, you get bought out by like EA and Activision. Like, yeah, you get money now and you get to run your own division and be the bosses of your own division. Shitty part is you're owned by a shittier company, but
yeah,
you know,
it's a
at least
dangerous
you're not
game.
being treated like shit anymore, and you can treat your employees better in your division.
Yeah.
What employees? They're all protesting.
They're all at the barbecue.
They all get together and they just make their own company, and then they walk on their employees.
And they roast you. That's
I kind of wonder about the whole crunch thing as well. Again, I feel like some of that's legitimate and some of it's not, because like you have an industry where it's in demand. You know, it's very popular. I guarantee you that the vast majority of people, developers and stuff, programmers, are really into what they do. You know, it's their dream job. They love it and they want to make that happen. And it's a really competitive and demanding industry. You know, any form of entertainment is the same. You know, actors in movies, you know, when they're going through long shoots and typically work 7 days a week and 12-hour days and things like that, and they make a good amount of money and they're doing what they love. So it's a trade-off. So like, but then you have everybody complaining about crunch. Like, there's probably some people out there that want to just work a 9 to 5 or whatever, programming, doing what they like, and it's, you know, somewhere in the middle ground. But in a competitive industry like that, where the majority is willing, you know, to do the thing that they love, they're going to put in the hours. They're passionate about it and they want to do that. You know, some people don't have any lives and that's their life. They want to be in the office. They want to work. And that's kind of the culture and the mentality in that industry. So like, I don't understand why there's...
Or you mean specifically crunch time?
Yeah, specifically
where the
crunch.
project ends, you have to put in?
Yeah, like, I'm sure
that's everywhere, though.
Yeah, true.
Software development, medicine, research. Like,
I said, like actors and stuff like that. Mainly the entertainment industry. Anything where there's, you know, a lot of passion and there's a lot of, you know, it's a very in-demand industry. There's a lot of people trying to get into that industry, right? So to make it in that industry, you have to make sacrifice, right? You have to be willing to go the extra and do the things that most people don't want to do to make it in that industry, because it is so cutthroat and there is so many people trying to get involved in it. You know, you've got to stand above and be willing to do that. I'm
trying to wrap my head around, because there's the thing about crunch, is I heard a lot of people complaining recently about crunch at NetherRealm over Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I heard that.
And I'm trying
to
understand that, because that's a fighting game.
I know.
Honestly, like, not to insult like development on fighting games, but how much work do you really got to do?
It does seem weird.
Okay,
of all the kinds of games,
one of
fighting
those,
games
like,
seems very strange.
That's one of those things you have to like really keep in mind. There's a lot that goes into like this. I mean, obviously, like the game side of it, you know, the simplicity, whatever. But I actually, funny enough, my buddy who picked me up from the airport yesterday, he does software development for some company, I won't say, but the amount of work that goes into like basic, like even something like net coding, like, you know how you have to stress test like games that are online play to make sure that the system and the net code can handle, you know, thousands of people playing at once?
Yeah.
Yep.
That can take like up to a month, just because you need to, like, you're essentially DDoSing the system and the net coding servers to see if they can, you know, handle, you know, 10,000 people playing a game online together on the same, you know, whatever. And a lot of times, like, all of those things are either done, like, they're either, there's, because, you know, we as a country love, what's the term?
See,
when we outsource stuff, when we make one company do something and another do another section, what's the term for that?
Butt fuck.
Butt fuck, yeah, you butt fuck your company and then you have them make a barbecue. No, my point is, everything takes like a lot of time and effort from a lot of people, and I like crunch is not something that you should be like looking at and being like, oh, this is like an abnormal thing that shouldn't happen. Crunch literally happens in any job that has a deadline, you're going to have crunch. Any job, any position where there's like a giant project that has to get done, you're not going to be like, oh, I'm done at 5 and it's due tomorrow. You're going to be sitting there till 11 if you actually are like involved in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and honestly, that spreads across almost every aspect of every business, period, outside of maybe like entry-level positions. Like if you're in any form of supervisory or management, you're going to have crunch. Guaranteed. There's always going to be tasks or things you need to get done within a set amount of time, and you're never going to be equipped to do it comfortably. Like, it's not realistic. That never fucking happens. So you're going to have to push harder. You're going to have to put in more time. It's just the way of the world. It's just how things work out. And again, like you said, when you're looking at an overall massive project, think of all the things that need to fall into place and all the things that need to get done to hit this deadline. There's so much shit that you have to accomplish, and you only have set amount of people to make it happen. Of course there's going to be crunch.
Yeah,
like, how do you get around that?
The way I'm looking at it is like, because it's weird to me. I look at Assassin's Creed Odyssey and I'm like, yeah, the base game without like side missions is like, that's a 100-hour or 70+ easy game.
Massive.
And it's just like, Mortal Kombat's like a 4-hour long story plus multiplayer. And I'm just like, nobody at Assassin's Creed Odyssey was bitching about crunch. They're just like, our game is so fucking good. And nobody complained. And people in another room was like, oh man, all this crunch. And I'm just like, what, you build 10 mini stages, not even an open world? So you're building like 2% of the size of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And it's just like, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. And it's so weird to me that they're complaining about crunch. And I'm like, and I get it, you know, I'm sure there is crunch, obviously. But I'm just like, a fighting game doesn't feel like in comparison to other games, like as they're like a less than 10% the size of these games. I'm like, I don't feel like there's crunch there. It's like a fighting game is very simple, it looks like. And yet they're just like, man, this is so difficult. And I'm like, you don't even have to build an open world. You don't have to do any of that shit. And you're just like,
well, there's a lot of factors that, I mean, I see what you mean and I get it. I just mean, like, I don't want to say anything on it because I don't know what goes into it.
Or the stuff that does it.
Yeah, honestly, there was 2 pieces to that story, and a big part of it was about just the culture over there and like them shitting on women and all this stuff. And I think that was the bigger part of the story. But
wait, what are they doing to women? What the fuck?
That's where I heard that whole bathroom story. Like they didn't have a female restroom in there, and like they were just something about they had like nicknames for every single woman that worked for the company, and they were really offensive, and you know, a lot of things that I struggle to believe. You know, I just, maybe it's true, I don't know.
The big story I heard was the whole crunch thing, like the whole like women thing, like that was kind of downplayed because like that kind of does sound ridiculous. Like, not saying that it's not happening, but I'm just like, you're owned by Warner Brothers, like $1 billion fucking company, and you make stupid amounts of money. I'm pretty fucking sure they have 2 gender bathrooms.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure buildings when you rent out offices come with that shit. Yeah.
Well, they supposedly converted the other bathroom into another male bathroom because most of the team was male. Yeah, it's a bit much.
That sounds like bullshit, but if it's not,
but yeah, like. to your point, like about NetherRealm having crunch and stuff like that, like everybody seems to be saying, like, I hate to use the term Me Too because it's kind of a dangerous topic, and I don't even mean it in that form, but a lot of people are just kind of saying, Me Too, oh, hey, you know, crunch. Like, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon and saying, oh, well, we have crunch too. But like we talked about, crunch is a part of life and work. It's there. And everybody's looking at this as an opportunity to speak up and be like, oh, well, maybe I can get a piece of this pie. But it's like, you need to look at it for what it is and understand, like I said, it's an in-demand industry, it's a demanding industry, and this is going to happen. Like, it's not that you're being treated poorly as an individual. This is just the way things are. And it's not like this company's trying to treat you like shit. It's just like, hey, guys, we got to get it done. This is the size of the team. You know, people are waiting for this game. We have investors. Like, we got to make this happen, whatever it takes. And the people that are there, again, they're passionate. They're doing the thing that they love. They're privileged to be in that position to do what they love and make probably a good paycheck in the process. Like, they're paid for their
When
overtime.
they're not being fired.
Yeah, they're not being fired. They have value. They're getting paid for the overtime. They're not being abused in that manner. Like, why are we making such a big deal about this?
Like, Sean, how much spare time have you put in to make, like, the Ward videos and stuff? How many times have you worked, like, your ass off, like, into the night? Or
Exactly.
like,
Almost
do you
daily.
get to be like, fuck you guys, I'm not going to make any videos because I have to crunch. I can't just do it an hour a day and be good. Like, you give a shit, supposedly, if it's your career. You know? Or a passion or hobby, whatever.
Yeah, it's like, I'm passionate about that. I'm going to do whatever I can to make that happen. I'm going to put in the time and the effort and whatever extra I can do because I'm passionate about it. Like, and that's what it is. You know, that's part of what the industry is. Like, you're doing something that you love and that you're passionate about. You should be willing to go the extra mile to make your dream your job. Why is that so hard? And again, I don't want to get blown up here by taking, the other side. Like, I'm not shitting on there's probably situations out there where they are, like, companies are, a little bit evil about it and they're pushing people a little bit too far. But I'm just seeing, like, all these crunch stories pop up everywhere you look. Like, it's getting to the point where it's insane. And I think we're blowing it out of proportion, and we're not seeing things for the way that they actually are. And everybody's just trying to get a piece of the pie and taking advantage of the situation when it's just part of the industry. But we need to fucking move on. We've been on this for a long time. Jazz, you picked really bad stories, really hot topic, fucking.
Speaking of hot
I
topic,
had another one, but I have a feeling that it's going to go like half an hour long.
Oh,
Yep.
Lord. Yep. Well, go ahead and bring it up, and we won't commentate on it in depth.
Well, I did have a couple more. Like, one of them was just the Final Fantasy VII remake.
oh my god!
It's supposedly coming out in parts.
Oh, that's old
This
news.
is bullshit. There is no excuse for what they're doing with this. How many years has picked some great topics, Jess. How many fucking years has it been since they said they're gonna remake Final Fantasy VII?
4 years.
No,
was it 4? I was gonna say like 5.
It's been
It's
like
around there.
12.
They first announced it in 2015.
No, it hasn't been 12 years. We've been
No,
wanting
they
one
announced it
forever.
for the PS3. Remember that tech demo for the PS3 where
No.
they remade the intro cutscene?
That was completely a tech demo. They stated specifically, this is a tech demo. We are not remaking Final Fantasy VII. We did this because it's a cool property that people like, and we just wanted to show, what we could do graphically with a property that people love. Like, that was never a commitment to a remake.
Okay, well,
They officially announced the remake 4 or 5 years ago.
In 2015.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It moved from post conceptual stage and now in full development.
pre-conception.
They finally released a trailer.
It was also originally not an in-house project, and it got scrapped and redone as an in-house Square Enix project.
Yeah, why would you
How do you
outsource fucking Final Fantasy VII remake?
Isn't that their fucking lifeblood?
Pretty much.
In a way,
That makes
like
no
that's
sense.
what put them on the map. Well, I mean 6 and 4,
Well,
but no, like
1 put them on the map, but
no, but 7 is like
7 did it more in America.
Yeah,
Yeah,
7
7
is
was
when
the
it blew
first.
up in the US.
It's like that's like
It was already extremely popular and made them a lot of money before 7. But yeah, in America, 7 is what blew it up in.
I was about to say that's what if they had Resident Evil 2 remake done by fans, but hey, that's almost what happened, and it was brilliant.
And then they said, "Hey, knock that off. Come help us make ours."
And they
But
did.
yeah,
great.
it's
Now
unfortunate.
There's a trailer up. There's a trailer up. It looks just like fucking Advent Children.
Yeah, I saw it. The game looks fantastic, and at first I didn't really like the fact that it was going more action oriented. I wanted more of a pure Final Fantasy VII experience, but after thinking about it, I think that's kind of a cool, a new experience for
Turn-based
for an old
is
game.
still like it's not niche,
It's not appealing.
but it's like
Yeah.
it's not the majority. So it's adapt or don't sell as many copies
Yeah,
type
and plus
situation.
we have Final Fantasy VII to play it the way that it was whenever we want to.
Yeah.
So it's cool to have like a more action-oriented version of it. Something new and something different.
Plus 7 just got re-released at like 60 frames,
Mhm.
and 1080 whatever
Fuck.
on new consoles. So
Yeah, my only problem is that
fucking-
it's
you
going to
could
be
buy
released
that
in
or
episodes.
buy the new episodic one.
That's the only thing I have against it.
I still have my PlayStation 1 copy sitting right next to me.
But what else we got, Jazz?
I'm telling you, the last one's kind of long. It's kind of long, but it was there's the new game Ghost Recon Breakpoint is skipping Steam in favor of Epic Games. So once again,
Shocking! Wait, but before I have one
I
really
don't
quick thing.
care,
I have
console,
one really
haha.
quick thing about Epic Games. Apparently, Linux has an anti-cheat, and Epic Games bought out the people who made the anti-cheat, and now it doesn't work for Linux. It's great.
I don't know what that...
I'm playing on console.
No, that like one of the so some games have Linux support, right? And for Linux, you need your own anti-cheat because the other ones don't work because it's a different operating system. And Epic Games bought out the people allegedly who made the Linux anti-cheat, and now they're not making the anti-cheat. So games that had anti-cheat on Linux before don't have it now, thanks to Epic Games.
Wow.
So fuck Epic Games, and fuck them for this exclusive bullshit that keeps going on.
Well, it's on Steam now, so we'll see what they do. Probably nothing.
Yeah, well, this one's skipping Steam to go to the Epic Games. They're also going to Ubisoft's game, the Uplay. Now, I like Ghost Recon. Is that one of those Tom Clancy games?
Yeah.
Okay.
That he
I
made
had a feeling
alone.
it said nowhere what it was. It just said Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And I was like, is this a new game that's called this, or what?
Yeah, Ghost Recon's been kind of MIA for a while.
Yeah, well, now they're coming out with a new game. It's going to be available October 4th on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, but not Steam. But other than on Uplay and on the Epic Store, it's not going to be available digitally anywhere else. So that's like literally the only way you can get it.
At this point, I'm not surprised. Like, every time they announce something new for Epic exclusivity, I'm just like, whatever. It's just how things are right now. It's gross.
That's two of their most recent games too, the Division 2 and is it Anno 1800?
I have no idea what that
skipped
is.
Steam.
That's a strategy game, I think.
Yeah, it's the Ubisoft's two recent games that also skipped Steam. But and on top of that, also is there's like all these other games skipping, like Metro Exodus, Detroit Become Human. Like everyone's starting to skip a little bit more. And Epic stated that it'll change its policy of chasing, because they're securing exclusives, but they're going to change their policy of chasing exclusives if Valve is going to reduce the cut it takes, because Valve is taking a huge cut of each game, which is why the game producers are like, well, I don't want to fucking put you on there then. Like, I'm not going to give you my game.
Hey, Jazz.
What?
We talked about this before. But it's fine. It ties into your story. But that's why I said, like, this
That was
is...
just the whole story I read today.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, like this is why I said that this is kind of on Steam at this point. I kind of hope that Epic continues to get more and more exclusive titles so that Steam is finally just like, okay, fine. You know, Epic's willing to play ball if we give the developers a bigger split. Then they'll stop doing the exclusivity bullshit, and then we can all live happily ever after. That's kind of what I hope plays out. And I think the more exclusives that Epic gets, the quicker this is going to happen. So
Yeah.
at this point, I'm kind of for it. You know what? Get all your exclusives, push Valve or Steam to fucking play ball, and let's just move on.
I'm just
there's a lot
waiting
of big
for
titles.
Yeah.
Epic Games to like release news that it injects your computer with viruses and that they have children working in like with like pedo managers in their sweatshop basements just to keep that fucking
And
thing
they have
running.
enforced crunch.
Yeah, it's literally you
Mandatory.
work 20-hour
And
shifts.
barbecue walkouts.
23-hour shifts.
You get to sleep for 1 hour.
Well, not even, because you have to eat too.
But yeah,
They have like
where
two. They have like tubes like inserted in people's mouths to like
IVs.
siphon food. Yeah.
But that's where I'm gonna cut it for the news.
Yeah. Yeah, we went
Which
a little
apparently aren't
long.
even news.
That was dangerous subjects, Jazz.
Yeah,
But
I
they're
don't
good
even think we have
ones.
the time for that game.
Also, I have to run because
Kind of over.
it's been.
Yeah. No game this week,
I
unfortunately.
heard ones too. Fox.
Save it for next week.
But yeah, we can go real quick over the show and tell from last week.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually really curious to see what you guys have.
Here,
no,
I got
guys
2
weren't
minutes
here.
before I gotta get off.
That's good. We could totally do it in 2 minutes. We don't drag things on.
Yeah,
No.
never.
So again, like the challenge that was issued was what in your collection of video game stuff to you is more unique. It doesn't have to be something that's like one of a kind, but Shaun, start off.
Oh, I gotta go first, huh? I see how it is. Wow. So I have a Resident Evil, Biohazard 5 poster that is signed by the director and the producer. And I got that through Capcom Unity. They had a contest where you submitted your Resident Evil collection to them, and they would pick, I think, 3 or 5 winners to send out the poster to, and I was one of them. So I have a very rare signed Resident Evil 5 poster, or Biohazard 5 poster.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. I love it.
Definitely not something you can just go off and find anywhere.
Exactly, yeah. It's very nice.
It's awesome. Cody.
Cody.
Did we lose Cody?
Did Cody die?
What?
Cody, what do you have in video game collections that's unique in your way?
Oh shit! Yeah, my Metal Gear Rising lamp. So fucking sent you a picture on that. Story behind that is it sat at this GameStop since Metal Gear Rising came out. It sat it there for like I think like 5 or 6 years, and it was the only one in there for like 5 or 6 years. And I went in there, and I just had some spare money, and it was like $30, and I was just like, it's been here for years. I'm gonna fucking pick this up. And I brought it to the counter, and the dude working at GameStop at the counter just goes, "You sure you want to buy that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Why?" And he goes, "Oh," and I was like, "What?" He's like,
He wanted it.
"He's like, I was gonna take that home with me today."
Aww.
Wow.
He's like, "Are you sure you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've been eyeballing it for the past few years and haven't had any extra money to pick it up." And he's just like, "Oh, okay." And now, like, I felt bad, but I got a really cool fucking lamp out of it.
That's kind of a fucked up thing for him to do.
That's
Like,
so
what an
shitty of
asshole.
him.
He's just like, "I was gonna take it home with me today." He's like, "It's been sitting here for a long time," and he's like, "I was gonna buy."
I would have been like, I didn't really want it, but now, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
here's
exactly.
my
That's what I was going to
Fuck
say. At
you.
that point, I would have been like, even if I didn't want it, I'm going to buy it just because you said that.
money. Yeah. Guilt trip, motherfucker. See how that works? I'm going home.
I'm going to buy
should've
it
told
from
you it doesn't
you,
work.
and I'm going to return it to another GameStop.
What if he told you like, hey, it doesn't work, you shouldn't get it, and you're like, oh. Or it's like it's a knockoff, it's not the original thing, oh. And then he just takes it home, he's like, haha.
I'd be like, why do you want it then, bitch?
No,
I'd be
don't
like,
don't
"Nah,
tell them
we
you
just
want it.
keep
Tell
it here for
them it's
years
real."
because it's a display,
I was going to stick
even
that
though
up
it
my
has a
ass
price tag
later.
on it.
The price tag is part of the display.
Wow, that's up. But that's cool though that you still got it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That thing is super cool.
It still does the lightning and everything years later.
That's good.
Yeah, my copy of Metal Gear Rising, like the steel case copy that came inside, got stolen, but nobody took the lamp, which is fucking weird.
That is weird. What the
Nobody
hell?
wants the lamp.
Well, usually people who steal stuff don't take your lamp.
But it's a cool lamp.
Can you imagine a robber coming into your house and be like, oh, I'm going to take his TV, his, I don't know.
My buddy
lamp.
just came to me. He said, "Oh yeah, just let the guy buy it, and then go to his house later and just fucking rob
Steal
him."
it. See, if I was going to rob shit, I would break into people's houses and just take their lights. Just take all their light bulbs.
Yeah.
level.
That would just be really fucking annoying.
I know, exactly.
Pro level. You wait for him to leave GameStop with it, and then you take it from him before he gets in his car.
You hit him with it and then you take it.
Yeah.
So you have his blood on it.
Wow.
He pushes a button and two people run outside, slice your tires.
A story about a light is turning dark somehow.
You cut his tires with the sword inside the lamp.
He pulls out the riding sword and it's like,
The
what's
fake
that?
blood on your lamp looks so real. It's not fake, bitch.
Wow. Nick,
Wait, here, I have my, yes.
what is yours?
Okay, I spent like an hour thinking about this yesterday on the plane while I was playing FF4 about this. So the rarest shit that I would have is I have all the PS2 Silent Hills, and then I have the Essential Collection shit for PS2, and then I have the Blaster for Resident Evil. But those are not special; they're just like really like good stuff that I like. The special thing that I have that you probably can't get anywhere, mostly because it's bootleg, is I have a Russian copy of Resident Evil 4
What the fuck?
with version 1.1. As in, the HUD is remade with the the Cyrillic shit. All the cutscenes are overdubbed, and yeah. And I played it back in 2008. I don't know where it is.
That's
it didn't
not
come
good.
with a manual. No, I know it's somewhere, but it's like in the
Sean.
basement. Yeah, Sean.
Yeah.
Sean went over there with Cody's.
About that.
He's like, I got the lamp now. I need that game.
Fuck.
Yeah, but it was like, it's like a legit bootleg. Like it has like it's like a bootleg, version of the game. No, I mean it's like it's not accented. It's like actual Russian people in their basement.
Yeah, I know.
It's and I remember playing through it and having a lot of fun. And the funniest thing I remember from that game is they pronounce Ada.
Ada.
Yeah, it's like
Ada.
Ada Wang.
Ada Wong.
It's like Ada Wong. They say the G because it's
Ada Wong.
God.
But yeah, you can't get it anywhere. You can't buy it. It doesn't exist. I think I got it because I knew someone who did like bootlegging from Russia, and he like threw it in because I told him I really wanted to play RE4 because I found Sean's series of videos on it, and I was like, "This is fun. This looks like a good
Yay.
game."
That's cool.
What about you, Jazz? Is it maple syrup with Leon on it, or?
What the fuck? No. Mine is a guidebook for Code Veronica. It's a small guidebook. It's about the size of like a book, like a regular book, I guess.
Like a novel?
And it has like an extra slipcover on top. And on the maps, where like it's a guidebook. So on the maps, there's little pictures of zombies wherever they'll be located in that area. They're like really.
No wonder you're so good at that game.
No, it has nothing to do with this book. Trust me. It's entirely written in Japanese.
No wonder you're so good at Japanese.
It's from Japan. My friend Jen went there a couple times, but the first
Friend
time
Jen.
she went there, she came back with it. Friend Jen. She came back with it as a present. So it's like really different, and I would never give it to anybody. It's just like it looks really cool. The cover, obviously, you can't read any of it except for the title because it says. But I don't know. To me, like I really love Code Veronica, and I love weird shit, and I love books. So to me, that's like I'm never getting rid of this shit.
It's a little bit of.
Are
all
we
the
going on
world.
2 hours now?
Nope, not even.
Oh, okay. Because I know we started like.
It's only been
Around-
like 25 minutes, dude. What's
Yeah,
your time
yeah,
perception?
yeah.
We just started.
Yeah, we
wish.
talked about two
Some
very
news.
dangerous topics.
Yeah.
You're weak and news.
Again. That was
Yeah,
my
we
bad.
started off rough with our weeks just fucking lasting like half of what the podcast should have been.
Our weeks lasted weeks.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
we ever have stalkers, everyone's gonna have a really good profile about it.
Exactly. They know our lives. But yeah,
So we can
we'll have to be a little bit better about how things go next
Can I
week.
perform a walkout on this podcast, JKJ?
Wow, fuck.
Well, I kind of
Was it all the crunch?
It's like
Yeah, man.
too much crunch for
I know
me.
you want me to, crunch a
They
little bit.
took out the women's bathrooms.
Yeah, there was no Cody bathroom, so
Yeah, the special one with the bidet.
Yeah.
yeah. Got to get your ass wet.
What the fuck?
At our work, you can get your ass wet. It's part of the. You don't get fucking health benefits, but you get a bidet.
You get a wet ass.
Sean,
Yeah.
updates.
Okay, before you guys do updates, I gotta go. My updates are: I just got home. I'm gonna unpack and sleep, and next week I'll tell you if I'm doing anything.
Sounds great.
Sounds
All right,
fun.
thanks for having me. I'll catch you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I have no updates either. I really don't. I didn't really get to work on hardly anything this week. I felt bad because fucking you and Diz have been getting all kinds of shit done, but I just haven't really had a whole lot of time to work on anything. I kind of brainstormed a couple things with Diz as far as the doing the audio drama, and I've been still working on editing the dork video and adding a little bit of dialogue to the script for dork for Diz. So I'm kind of trying to make that a priority to finally get the Diary of Rebecca Chambers episode 2 out as quick as possible. And
Dual update, go!
What?
I said dual update, go.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've been working a little bit on that. I'm still fucking waiting for a couple people to turn in lines, which is really frustrating.
Am I one of them? I can't remember if I'm one of them.
No, you're not.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, some people have their lines already completely done. Other people haven't even fucking started theirs yet, which is starting to frustrate the shit out of me. I'm really trying to avoid doing more recasting because I already had to recast Ada, which fucking sucks. Ada Wong. Oh yeah, Wonk. But yeah, I just kind of been struggling to get the last bit of stuff for episode 13 done, but it's fucking close. I've almost got all my lines done, and I'm working on the timeline, and that's pretty much done. So it's really just some sound effects, a little bit of timeline editing, and voices, and then that's it.
Nice.
Even after like all the tweaks and adjustments that I had to make. So, I mean, I've come a long way. It's just taking a lot longer than I would fucking have hoped. But I think, again, like we talked about, I think it's going to be worth it, you know, doing a lot of new things, and it's an extended episode, so it's coming. But yeah, that's about all I got. You know, still working on the miscellaneous things here and there that I'm not ready to talk about, but things are happening, and stuff will be posted hopefully soon. The end.
Just good. Cody.
I've been not working as much on YouTube because I've been working on my album, and it is finally fucking gone gold. It is done.
I was gonna say, I thought you were done.
I was doing volume tweaks to like the ending skit things or whatever for each song. That was mainly it.
Gotcha.
Adjusting, make sure every song is like the same level of volume. 'Cause some songs were like way too low, and some songs were way too high sounding in volume. But
don't you have like a default like level that you kind of record at, or no?
No, I just kind of like I do everything by ear, but it sounds amazing. And not to toot my own horn or whatever, but
wow.
Yeah, an hour and 5 minutes. That's how long it is. And May 31st, Blackout, Chapter 3, Demo Demon. Go pre-order.
Nice. So since you shouted that out, is that like your longest album?
Yes, and it actually has my longest song to date, which is Pure 2, which is like over 5 minutes long.
Damn, son.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I want to start buying those fucking CDs so I can listen in the car.
My bank like fucked me over, so I gotta wait for my new card to come in the mail before I can order physical CDs. I have the money, now I gotta wait for the fuck.
I'll still download them.
Yeah. Demodemon.bandcamp.com.
Shout out, man.
No digital. No, I don't care for music. It's fine.
Jesus Christ. Digital's better.
Before I forget, Batman.
I forgot.
No, it's Internet Hero.
Oh, my bad.
Oh yeah, Internet Hero.
You see the Wi-Fi bar in the sky? He's coming for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't have many updates either, actually. I don't know why you said me and Diz have been doing a lot of shit because I've just been recording my lines for other people.
Well, yeah, I guess that was more last week, but I mean, you wrote a bunch of stuff. Did you not?
I did. Well, this week I actually recorded my lines for the trailer for Alex Life is Stupid thing. And I don't think I did more writing because I was supposed to work on my secret project, but I ended up working on other stuff. But I did send out lines. I've got 2 characters that their lines were done for episode 3. And I'm sending out some more, but I'm realizing that I have more characters than people. So now I'm playing that game of like, wants to be an ooze monster? Who wants to fuck up their throat?
Well, that's good, though.
Surprisingly,
like
with
small roles like that, like bit parts, it's relatively easy to cast that because, you know, you can have your main cast do some of that stuff.
But I'm not actually like casting anybody for those yet. What I'm doing is trying to get through like the characters with names. I had to write like an entire fucking part that I forgot to put in. But I'm just gonna like as I edit, I'm like, oh, I need one for here. Oh, I need one for here, because otherwise I'm gonna end up giving the same roles to like 5 people, and not remember. Because they don't have names. They're all just called ooze. They're just like
well, that's
ooze,
why you
ooze.
gotta do ooze 1, ooze 2, ooze 3.
Yeah, but then some of them have like multiple lines, but I forget the numbers, and I just throw myself off.
Well, that's not
So
good. That's why you have the numbers.
I can't count.
Wow.
And then I'm doing my lines last because I'd rather just work on all the other ones first. I know where I live.
Do you?
Sometimes. I also have not part of an update, but I did forget to tell you my retarded thought of the day. I don't know if you still want to hear it.
Yeah.
Are babies born with their buttholes like closed, and the first time they poop, that's how buttholes are made?
Wow, they just force it through.
It was a thought. This was a legit question I asked Beth earlier this week, and then as soon as I asked her that, and we fucking made fun of me for a while, I went in my room and wrote it down because I was like, yeah, that's definitely
that's the one.
The top 5. That's fine.
We found it.
Yeah. Other than that, updates, not really. I'm trying to do Let's Plays, but I just don't have the fucking time. Every time I sit down to play a game, I end up just playing it, not wanting to talk.
Wow. You gotta push through the pain.
I do.
You gotta crunch.
Fuck. You gotta have that barbecue. Deal with it. Just go walk outside.
It's a barbecue crunch.
Make a statement. But yeah, that's all. That's all there was.
Yay.
Yay. So we're gonna close it here unless you guys have something else you add. I don't have a challenge this week because my challenge is to breathe.
You're challenged
my
enough.
flawless record still stands. I said flawless, damn it.
What?
Flawless.
Your record for what?
Quoting or whatever Jazz's stories. I won 2 rounds.
You quoted my story?
I don't know what's
But
happening.
you gave us the quotes and you said which game is this from this.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I still stand undefeated.
You asshole.
Actually, no,
I win this week by default.
You are
undefeated.
winning. Because the thing is, I completely forgot to write down. I didn't have a pen last week, and I forgot to write down the points. And so I just added an extra quote to give you guys like an extra chance again. And it'll come back next time.
Yeah, just save your questions for next week, and we'll pick it up again then.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because that way I don't have to... You know how annoying it is to read a book without reading it? Because then I start actually reading it.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, I want it. What else happened in this book? Oh, wait, I know what happened. Everybody blows up.
Wow.
But yeah, that's all for this week. So I forgot what your closing thing is, but basically join us again on next week. This next Monday. Listen to the next episode of podcast, whatever this number is.
33.
33.
Wow.
It's almost 34.
It's so close.
Yeah. Then thanks for listening, and I hopefully you guys can. What is it? Can you finish it off? I don't fucking know what your speech is. Subscribe, like, subscribe.
I only say that sometimes, but yeah, definitely. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the like. Let us know what you thought of the show, and if you have any ideas, we're always open to hearing what you guys want to see and what you guys like and dislike on the show. And yeah.
But regarding that, you don't have to comment for Shaun to finish Days of Our Lives. He is doing that.
Yes, I see your comments even when I don't respond.
Every episode, people are like, "I like your podcast, but when are you gonna make episode?"
I know 13? If you like, just listen to the end and you'll know where I stand on episode 13. I'm working really hard to get it to you guys, and I will get it out there as soon as I can.
Also, we forgot to say hi to Alec.
Oh, hi, Alec. Way to not be on the podcast this week, you fuck.
Yeah, loser. Jerk. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys, or listening. Thanks for watching the still image and listening to the podcast.
Thanks for being envious of our cool things.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week, everybody.
See you next week.
Bye.
Oh, Jesus Christ.